Alright guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So today, it's pros and cons time for the Pixel 6. Now these are just my nitpicking pros and cons. And I say that because, some of you guys are probably going to disagree with some of these cons or pros or whatever. But I wanted to go ahead and point them out to you. So the first thing I want to jump into is the hardware. Now, when you say, Jay, we're talking about hardware, I'm talking about the size of the device. This is a pretty big phone for my taste. Which is why I purchased the Pixel 6. It's a little bit smaller, and the Pixel 6 is probably just a little bit bigger than my Pixel 5a. But still, this is a large phone to lots of people, and it requires two hands depending on how big your hands are. And again, even though I have big hands, that doesn't mean that I prefer a larger screen phone for 24-hour use. So again, nitpicking here, but I like a small powerhouse device. And I pointed this out in my previous video of the weekly update on the Pixel 6 Pro. So while the hardware is fantastic, I'll talk about that later. This is a big body, so what I would prefer is a 21:9, just to make it a little bit easier on your hands when holding it. A narrower phone makes for a good experience in my personal experience. So next thing is the slipperiness of the device. And so this is something that we knew would be here, but this device is slippery. So to offset that, you'll need to buy a skin or just put a case on it or something like that, which is what I have done to mine. But in the end, I don't like to wear cases on devices, so a skin is a must for me to get that grip. And then when you put the skin on, you end up changing the color or something of that nature. So some people might not want to change the color of the device. So what you could do is go with a matte texture skin if you can find those. So yeah, the build quality, while it's good, the slipperiness is a little annoying because I don't like to wear a case. The next thing is the speaker quality and volume. So in comparison to other devices, the speaker volume on here is not what I would consider flagship level speaker quality. There's not very many phones that have a louder speaker than the iPhone 12 Pro Max or 13 Pro Max. Those phones, even the 13 Pro, even the 13 has really good speakers. And this comes down to the way the device is put together and the build quality on the device. So while these speakers are loud and clear, the volume isn't there for what I would like to do, like in certain areas. Now, for speakerphone quality, it's decent too. It's still not top notch for me. But remember, everybody's ears is a different age. So I tend to put in Bluetooth when talking on the phone anyway. But there are some times where I want to sit it down and I just don't want to have anything in my ear and I want to type. And the volume is always at 100% in order to get, a pretty decent call in. But as far as the call quality goes, the microphones out here are fantastic. So another con or kind of dislike that I have is the camera. So the camera is, I just think the terminology pro is just being thrown around a little too much. A phone that has a pro mode, it's not even called a pro. Again, I always reference the Z Flip 3 because that is one of my go-to cameras for recording footage on the channel when I don't want to use a 24mm, lens from a mirrorless camera. So the cameras have fantastic quality now. They're great. However, there's no pro video mode, and I would really like to see this, or there's no pro mode at all for photos or video. I really need them to implement this mode here so I can control the gains in my microphone, because while I can hook up an external microphone to this device, I don't do it. I'd rather just edit in post if I need to. If I need to crank it up a little bit, I will go ahead and do that. So again, personal preference, but it's up to you to determine how you interpret when something is a pro or not. And I don't think that the camera on this device, while it functions at a high level, there's no pro options there. Like manually adjusting the ISO or microphone are important to me. So now let's get on to some positive notes here. The screen is absolutely beautiful. This is going to be one of the better looking displays that you'll get on a device. It is a Quad HD 120 Hertz refresh rate, and it is absolutely great. I don't think you'll have a problem enjoying content on this device. So think twice about it if you're worried about the screen. And what I want to say about the screen is I've been seeing a lot of comments about, oh, there's a weird tone on it or there's a flickering issue. I don't have anything to say on that because it's not happening to me, but I would just tell you, don't not buy a device because of what someone says. You have to experience it for yourself. And this will be one of the most beautiful displays on a device. Now, another area that seems to be controversial for a lot of people is the battery life. I can make it through a full 24-hour cycle, like literally 24 hours. And It's giving me between 6.5 and 8 hours of screen on time if you want to measure with screen on time. I know you guys do. I think screen on time is so silly because it's gauging in the wrong direction. Like you should be talking about how long it's off the charger and is your phone there for you or when you need it to be there. That's really what it's about. And this phone is there for me when I need it to be there for me, period. Now, another area is the video quality. The video quality is greatly improved over tons of every other Pixel, except for the Pixel 4 XL and the Pixel 4. I think those video cameras were just fantastic. And this phone right here matches those and then exceeds those. I've shot night video with the Pixel 4 XL and the Pixel 4 and it came out flawless. And the same thing applies here. I took some night footage. I was out at an event with my wife and I took some night footage and it was great. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I even did the 20 times zoom and 7 times zoom in video. Everything came out just fine. To my standards, it was great. So video quality is greatly improved. And as always, it is the king of photos in my book. I don't think any phone is really matching the Pixel when it comes to still shots. And if it is matching the Pixel or beating it, it has to work hard to do so. I.e. like a Sony device that has all the manual controls. That's the only way it's keeping up with the Pixel. And there are some shots that are better than the Pixel that I've seen. But I personally think that Google has mastered the art of point and shoot still shots, whether it's portraits or just taking photos. And then with all the additions they've given the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, you can do Magic Eraser, you can do the shots where you the lights, the motion, you can do a whole bunch. So while these aren't new features, I'm glad Google finally implemented them on their devices. So another pro for this device, believe it or not, is the color options and the build quality itself. Now, the build quality itself is a pro because it's a premium feeling device, aside for that slippery con that I put out there. But overall, this is a premium feeling device. I don't mind the curved display. Some people always say, well, how do you like the curved display? I think you should kind of be over that by now because most phones that are coming out have some type of curve, whether it's on the back or the front. And I don't find that to be an issue. I don't even care that it has a curved display. Like I don't see how that's such a huge issue to a lot of people. But I think a lot of it comes from watching someone else and they say it's bad, and then you just start to deny with them. Yeah, it's bad. It's just not the case for me. I think the screen on here with it being curved, I don't feel any way about it or the other. Some people say I love a flat display. Well, of course we love a flat display because that's what we have always had. But I think moving towards curved displays, it's not a bad thing. We've been there for a while. I think you'll get used to it. But another thing, again, is those color options. The fact that they have multiple color options. I think the fun thing about this is it's weird when people address Google's Pixel options as playful and fun, almost childlike. But every other OEM is putting out colorful devices, and I don't really hear people speak on it so firmly. I just don't. I don't hear people saying, oh my gosh, they're playful and childlike. I just don't see that. So there's a lot of underlining shade there for the Pixel devices because they are that good. And that's what I interpret that to be. I don't think the colors are playful and childlike. I just think it's color options for people who want a different color phone other than just basic black or basic silver. You know what I mean? So last thing is the software experience. This is a huge pro for them because some people are going to say, oh, they're offering 5 years of updates. That doesn't matter to me. I'm here right now, and I need the phone to work, and I want it to be a great software experience. And stock Android for me, it's just the way to go. I just like stock Android. While I like OnePlus's software to where I can customize right out of the box a little bit more, I don't think Google has to do that. For the little betas that they have on this phone for changing the icon and to match the wallpaper, those are simple enough because there's a lot of simple people out there. That's just what it is. So last thing I want to talk about is the bonus little statement here for Google. Make a matte version of your phones. It doesn't have to be, I think all of them should be matte because the 6 has the flat sides. But I think this phone would have been fantastic in matte. And I just would not have probably had, that just would have been like the top of this pro for me. But since it's not, you can skin it and you can change it up how you want to change it. But Google, in the future, could you please make a matte version of your powerhouse devices? So I didn't talk about performance and the Tensor chip because, well, everybody's going to have their own different spin on the performance. I just know, again, that goes under the software experience for me, and the chip is doing fantastic. And I've always said that if the chip fails, the phone might fail, but the chip is doing fantastic for me, so no problems whatsoever. It's your man Jay, a little pros and cons for you guys on the Pixel 6 Pro. Stay tuned for more coverage. Take care.